You know what? Sometimes poker is just plain easy. I'm running really good, so even if I'm not playing well, I'm winning anyways. But this week I played really, really well. Very different from the week I got back from the World Series where I played very poorly. Played well this week. I'm running good, and that really, really helps. And again, that just makes poker easy. I have won 8 cash sessions in a row and 12 out of my last 14. Again, some of those I didn't play as well as I should, but I've been running good. I am going to show a hand I played poorly in this session too. There's a hand that I won, but I could have made more money. So sometimes even when you play poorly, it's because you could have made more money than you otherwise would have. It's not that you necessarily lost. I'm almost embarrassed, but very, very glad to say that I'm finally in the black for the year. I'm up about $1,000. It took me till the end of June. This has been the most unusual year for me. I have never been this far into the year where I wasn't up. I'm far, far, far away from my goal of winning $25,000 this year, but I am playing better, and I am running much, much better. So hopefully I'll hit a big tournament here sometime shortly, and that'll really help. Tonight is our quarterly tournament at Wednesday Night Poker League. I think there's like $1,000 added, so the winner will get maybe $1,100 or something like that. There's 27 players tonight. I get, I think, the most bonus chips, or maybe the second most. I get 4,375. How many bonus chips you get?
4,050.
So you're way up there too. We're both in the top 5. Let's make them worthwhile. Wednesday Night Poker League, first break. Is so ridiculous. I have the second best hand, I don't know, 4 times. I flopped a straight, they flopped a bigger straight. I flopped the second nuts flush, they have the nut flush. I mean, it was horrible. So I started with 14,300, and I'm lucky I have like 11,000 left. But I'm very bitter. I am definitely a bitter old guy.
I'm bitter young guy.
At least you're like bitter old guy.
I started with 14,000. I got all the way up to 24,000.
Holy crap.
Then I got queens, lost the kings, who lost the aces on the same hand. So yeah. Lost 10,000 on that. A couple hands later, I raised with pocket nines. The guy next to me shoved on for like 4,000.
Short stack, right?
So I called. He had pocket queens. So now I have 7,000.
Really explain the queen's hand.
So
quickly though.
Chase, loose player under the gun, raises a 600. Josh, he only had about 10,000. Josh has 5,000. He threw bets to 1,500, and I'm on the button with queens. So I made it 5,000
to put Josh all in,
and because Chase could be raising with anything.
Sure, he's so loose.
He reshoves for 10,000.
Josh obviously calls,
and I have to call now.
So what do they have?
Chase had aces. Josh had kings, and I had queens. And flop was 6-4 deuce with 2 spades.
Okay.
Turn was a queen.
The queen of spades. God! Where are the spades though? That's 3 spades.
Yeah.
But you have
River's a spade.
Oh crap! Who won it?
Chase with aces.
He is the
and actually Josh had a spade too.
Chase is the luckiest player I've ever met. He makes me mad. Makes me very angry because he's very, very lucky. Man, if you win that, you had 23,000. If you won that, you'd got 33. You'd have almost 40,000 chips. Holy cow! Man, I just can't get anything going. I think I have 11,000 chips now. Blinds are coming back at 400, 800. I just can't get anything going. It's been the story of my night tonight, but I'm still in it. I still have 12,000. I mean, it's not like it's horrible. I just need to, gosh, I need to double up or something. Second break, Willie Jr. has joined me. All right, tell him how your second level went.
I started with 7,000. I went up to 11, back down to 4, down to 2. Now I have 9.
Jeez. Any notable hands, Billy?
Chase, it's everything.
The luckiest player I've ever met in my life. He just makes me so angry, so mad. You make me so mad. Does he make you mad, Billy? So mad face. We are just combining down to 2 tables, so we have 18 players left. I was dealing table 3, so at least I don't have to deal anymore. So that's a good thing. All right, we just had third breaks. We are now at 10 players, one more to the final table. Billy Willie Jr., I think, is the chip leader, and I think I'm the board chip guy.
So dead small.
So, and we're at 2,000, 4,000. I think I have 16,000. Billy has like 80,000.
93.
93. Wow. $16,500. Yeah, I got an ace. What am I supposed to do? It is 1:54 a.m. and we had pretty good results tonight. Billy, let's hear your results first. Tournament?
I got 6th in the tournament. Should have done a lot better.
Which paid how much?
Overall, I got like 300 from last man and all that.
Okay.
And then the cash, I made 380. So I think I made 600 total.
So yeah, good. And tournament, gosh, I got knocked out on the bubble of the final table. So I got knocked out 10th. I made 0 in the tournament. Cash game, I was in for 600 because I was down for a little bit. Out for 1,600. I made a 1,000 tonight in a 1-2 game. Billy, what do you think? The 1-2 game. It ain't a 1-2 game. Pretty amazing. Anyhow, so actually because we play Omaha, the Omaha pots get very
huge.
Big and bloated. So we did good tonight. And I will be telling you guys about a couple of hands I played tonight that were pretty good. I had one big loss of a hand against Steve, and then I had 2 just big wins. So look at my hair. My hair's all puffy. The very first hand I played, I have 6 of clubs, 7 of clubs. In the undergun +1, I have $300, which is what I bought in for. I raised to 10, middle position calls, and Chase calls in the hijack. Chase, luckiest player ever. So anyhow, the flop comes 6 of spades, 5 of hearts, 2 of clubs. There's 35 in the pot, 33 in the pot. I bet 18 and only Chase calls. So the turn, 69 in the pot, queen of diamonds. I check, Chase checks back. And the river, jack of clubs. I check, Chase fires out 55. I'm never going to believe this bet. The only thing he beats me with is if he hit a jack or if he had a better 6 than me. I make the call, and Chase turns over ace-9 for the caught bluff. So the next hand is a hand I was not going to put on the vlog, but my buddy Steve said I had better put this on, so I will do it since Steve beat me in this hand. It was a PLO 8 hand, high-low. I started with ace of spades, 4 of spades, 2 of clubs, jack of clubs. I have a $211. I was in middle position. As per usual on our Omaha hands, it got 7 players at 5. The flop came ace, ace, 8. Steve in the +1 bets 25. I call, and the button calls. The turn has 110 in the pot. Is a 2. Steve bets 110. I have a full house. I am shoving all in with 181, and the button folds. Steve makes the call. The river is a 9, so there's no low. And Steve turns over ace, 8, jack, 10 for a scooper. Mr. Bill, a pooper for 0. Next hand. Again, poker sometimes is easy. I have ace of clubs, king of diamonds. I have $400. I'm in middle position. My little son, Billy Willie, makes it 12 under the gun. There's a caller. I decided I'm going to play this one as a stealth hand. I'm not going to show the strength. And I just make the call, the cutoff calls, and stone on the button calls. So the flop has $60 on it. It comes ace of diamonds, 3 of diamonds, ace of spades. Again, sometimes poker is easy. Billy leads out for 15. The under the +1 makes the call. I call. Stone raises to 40. Everybody else folds to me. I decided to go ahead and make a raise right now. I raised to 125. Stone shoves all in for the effective stack, which is mine, which is another 388. And of course, I make the call. The board runs out 10 of hearts, Queen of clubs. Ooh, I don't like either one of those cards. He could absolutely have those, but he does not. He has ace 9. I show the ace king, and I win the entire pot. And finally, we will talk about a very large PLO 8 hand I played. I started the hand with ace queen, jack 10, 900 in my stack. There was 8 players at the table at the time, and it went all 8 ways for $5. So there's 40 in the pot. The flop comes ace, ace, queen. I flop the absolute nutter butters. Joe leads into me for $40, and I'm the one who makes the call. The turn is the 6 of clubs. Joe pots it for 120. I raise to 270. Joe repots for 600, and I make the call. The river's the 10 of spades. Joe turns over ace king, jack 10 for a full house, aces over 10s. I have aces over queens, and I have a scooper on probably the largest PLO pot of the night. Again, woo, sometimes poker's easy when you flop those and you get bet into. I'm just so glad that the river was not a king. I'd have been so mad. Okay, did you guys know that great thinkers don't think like everybody else? Great thinkers take thoughts and practices that are considered the norm, and they challenge them. Think about people like George Washington, Martin Luther King, Isaac Newton, Bill Belichick in football. All of these guys are guys who just didn't simply take what was given to them and just do the everyday. They challenged ideas. So to me, poker is no different than any of those other pursuits. The game evolves. And I think that we need to challenge conventional thinking. The game is very, very different now than it was 5 years ago. And it's a completely different game from what it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. So obviously thinking has changed. So today I want to challenge a poker norm, a conventional thought that I think needs to be looked at again. So how many of you guys have ever heard you should never limp into a pot? I have. I've heard that you should never limp. You know what? I don't think that's right. In fact, I know that it's not right. Maybe it's because of the word never. There are certainly times that I can think that I should be limping into a pot. Why am I even thinking about this subject? Because in the cash games that I played this week, at WinStar this week, I played in 2 games that were very limpy. Lots of times the players limped around, and it would go 5 ways, 6 ways, 7 ways on a limp. So I thought, is this right? Is it wrong? Does it give one kind of player an advantage over another player? So I started to think about it. And I came up with, there are valid reasons to limp, and I think that I'm going to list them right here. So the first reason to limp is because the table allows you to do it. If the people at the table are going to allow you to limp, and you have a hand that's limp worthy, ace 5, not an ace 5, ace 6 suited, or 5-7 suited or something like that, and you want to see a flop and they're going to let you do it, then that's a perfect time to do it. The other time is everybody loves to be the table captain. So table captain is the greatest thing in the world, right? So if you've got a table that will let you do whatever you want to do, and then, which means when you want to raise, you raise. When you want to limp, you limp. When you want to 3-bet, you 3-bet. And they just don't do anything about it. When you're the table captain and you control whether or not you're going to allow a limp this time or you're going to limp this time, I think it's a perfect time to do it. The second time, I think, is when there's simply a maniac at the table. Maniac at the table, for example, this maniac raises no matter what the initial bet is. So in a 2-5 game, if it's limped in, they might bet 25 or 30. In that same 2-5 game, when the initial bet is 25, they might make it 65 or 70. So if you have a hand like a mid-pocket pair and you want to see that flop for $25 or $30, and you've got the maniac behind you, I think it's a valid reason to say, you know what, I'm going to limp in because 75% of this time, this guy is going to raise me to $25 or $30, and I really want to see it for that amount anyways. And if he doesn't raise you, you're concealed in case you hit your set. I think the third reason is when there's a short stack at the table and they've shown a willingness to just push their chips in. They're looking for any kind of even decent hand to push it in with. They don't necessarily want to do it on a raise, but on limp pot they do. This is where you can trap, and I think that's also another good time to do it. WinStar run. I think we're going to play cash tonight. Is that correct?
There's no tournaments.
That's probably true. Wednesday night, I won $1,000 in a 1-2 game. Billy, what'd you do?
I won like 600 total.
That was between tournament and cash. So we're on a good roll. I'm in the black finally for the year. Only took me till the end of June. That's ridiculous. So I have ace of clubs, king of diamonds in the hijack with about $450. It checks to me. I make it 25. The button, who's a pretty tight player, very, very good, I believe his name is Gage, makes it 80. Small blind calls. I would have folded if it had been just me and the other guy, but because the small blind called, now I'm getting the price to call, so I went ahead and make the call. The flop of $245 is ace of diamonds, two of clubs, 3 of diamonds, and it checks around. The turn, jack of clubs, small blind checks. I bet 160, and both players fold. Interesting, both players turned over pocket queens. So it's pocket queens against ace king, and I got the ace. As I said, sometimes poker is easy. Okay, in this hand I have 10 of diamonds, 10 of clubs in the hijack with $620. It checks to me, I make it 25, the cutoff calls, and then a very, very loose, aggressive player raises to 125. He had done this with suited connectors, also good hands, but I can't fold to this guy. So I make the call and the button folds. So the flop has $280. The flop comes 10 of spades, 7 of clubs, 5 of diamonds. Sometimes poker's an easy game. I check. He bets 225, and I make the call. The turn is the 2 of hearts. I check. He goes all in for the effective stack, which is mine, of 270. And of course, I make the call. The river is a 7 of diamonds, making me a full house. And he turns over pocket queens. So I win. I double up on that one. Again, easy game when you're running good. And I played pretty well to get his whole stack. Okay, maybe a little more run good here. I've got 9 of spades, 9 of diamonds. I'm under the gun. I've worked my way stack up from 500 to 1,350. I decided to limp. Again, very, very limpy game. People are letting us do it. The cutoff, the button, and the big blind all call. So there's 4 of us going to the flop for $20. Flop is 9 of hearts, 7 of diamonds, 3 of hearts. I flop top set. Checks to the button, who makes it 20. The big blind calls. I then check raise to 60, and only the big blind calls. The turn with 160 in the pot is the queen of diamonds. He checks. I shove all in for his effective stack, which was 205, and he makes an absolute snap call. The river, ace of hearts. He turns over king, queen of hearts. So he was on a flush draw. So the run good may have stopped on that one particular hand, although it flopped top set. But I am happy with the way I played. I got his stack in completely, and he had maybe, 9 outs? Yeah, he had 9 outs. So I'll take that any time on the river. Okay, since we are talking about limping in games, I'm going to give you guys this exercise. That's a hand I played that's hand reading. So I'm not going to tell you what I have, and I'll have you guys try and figure out what I have. I will probably give you some options on what I might have had. So remember, this was very much a limpy game. We were seeing 5, 6, 7 players limp around many, many times. So anyhow, I'm under the gun. I have XX, and I have $975 in a 2-5 game. I limp under the gun. There's a +1 player who calls, and then the middle position player, who was probably the best player at the table, I believe his name again was Gage, he makes it 35. The cutoff calls, and I make the call. So already this should be narrowing my range in your head somewhat. So there's 115 in the pot, and the flop comes 9 of spades, 6 of clubs, 3 of diamonds. I check. The middle position player bets 60. The next player folds, and I make the call. Once again, what could I be doing that with that makes sense? So the turn is the 10 of spades. I check. He bets 115. I think for a few moments, and I raise to 260. He thinks for a long, long time, and he makes a fold. So now what do you think I might have had? Am I happy that he folded there? Am I unhappy he folded there? What do you think? So I will tell you that I had 7-8 of hearts, and I really, really don't like my play now that I've thought about it a bit more. The way that he was playing the hand, I don't think he ever has anything other than an overpair. So if he has an overpair, he no longer has a straight draw. He doesn't have a flush draw, which means I already have the nuts. I still like potentially a raise here, but a much, much smaller, maybe to 235 or 240. Maybe it still doesn't, he still folds on that. So maybe just calling the bet of 115. But if I'm going to do that, then on the river, no matter what it is, I need to lead out because I don't want to have him check back when I have the absolute nuts. So I think a raise is in order. Maybe as I think about it, maybe the raise of 260 is fine. It allows me next time, as part of the bigger meta game, to raise on a flush draw and have a player fold because they think I flopped a set or I'm representing the straight. He said at the end of the hand later when we were talking about it, he said he folded pocket kings there. Wow, folding pocket kings there. Does that tell me something about the next time that I play him? That I can get him to lay down a big hand if it looks like I might have flopped a set? Maybe so. It's 1:15. We were supposed to leave at 1, but somebody won't leave their table. Huh, Willy Willy? So are there other poker norms that you challenge? We talked about challenging the one about limping today. What other ones might you think about that need to be challenged? I'd love to hear some comments. Maybe we'll make a video about that. Once again, I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you watching and commenting and liking, pressing the subscribe button if you've done that. If you haven't, what are you waiting for? So I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching this, and I will see you guys all again next week.